Hello my friends, how are you doing? Today I want to give you a beginner's introduction on how to do these multi-exposure effects and what to look for when you create the setup so you get better results. My name is Olivio, I'm a professional designer, and I want to thank all of my patrons who support me and make these videos possible. Also, this Friday 8 p.m. CET I'm going to have a live stream and you can join me in a Zoom call during that live stream. If you're interested in that, please follow the link below that video to sign up for that. And also I will link this post, this tutorial in my Facebook group where I have over 4,000 active members, and you can post your multi-exposure effect there that you have created and talk with other members about your ideas, your concepts, your knowledge, and get feedback on it. Let's get started here. And the first thing we need to look out for when we create something like this is how we actually shoot the photo. And there is actually a lot of things to take into consideration. So the first point that is really important is that the camera is as stable as possible. So you need to use a tripod and then also try to keep the camera steady and safe and touch it as little as possible. Ideally, if you have a remote that you can use, that is great. Also, of course, no zooming, no other adjustments, because every time you touch the camera or you touch the tripod, it can move a little bit, even if you don't realize it, and that will realign the shot and make it really hard afterwards to line everything up. Now, another thing, especially as a beginner, is try to keep it simple so you don't have anything that overlaps. That is important for the people in the shot, but also for the shadows of the people or other kinds of light effects. For example, transparent materials or reflections that you have in a window or in a mirror or on the surface of a bottle, stuff like that can make it really complex. So you can see in this shot, for example, that all of my characters are standing on this side of the shot, because over here we have a light source and the light is coming this way. So that means if a person would stand here in this position, you would have the problem that we would get a shadow from the light coming here, falling onto the other people here and creating a very complex shadow situation that you would have to recreate in some way. Another thing to look out for is that you do this fairly quickly, because the sun is moving a lot faster than you think, and even 15 minutes, 30 minutes will change the shadows a lot. You also have to look for the weather. So for example, when clouds are moving in front of the sun, this can change the light situation. So be quick and see what kind of light situation is outside so you get better results. Another element that is important to look for is that you don't have too many things standing around in the shot as a beginner, because everything that is lying on the ground or standing around, or maybe you have a plant or a flower or stuff like that, can change between the pictures. So for example, flowers can move, some fabric on the ground that is moving a little bit, and suddenly all of these things are not lining up anymore. So that can be a big problem afterwards. So to reiterate, keep your camera as steady as possible. Be quick when you do that and have a simple setup in your scene with not too many moving or even overlapping elements. So now that we know what to look out for when we shoot the photos, let's create the effect in Affinity Photo. So open up one of your photos, then go to File and Place and select the other photos. If you see text here, go down here to All Documents so you see your other photos here, and let's select this one and that one. Click on Open, and you can see that I can simply place them in here. Now here is the important part. You want to have snapping turned on, so this is snapping against the edge of your canvas. So go here to View and then to Snapping Manager and make sure that snapping is enabled. That's really important. So you can see I can simply grab this layer with my move tool over here and simply snap it into the corner, then make it invisible over here with this little hook, select the other layer and snap that into the corner too. Now, here is something important. Even though I was very careful, my camera moved a little bit. And you can see here when I reduce the opacity that some of the parts of the image don't completely line up. But we can't fix that in an easy way because of the way that perspective works. So even though I move this over, so this edge of the wall is now lining up, the other parts of the wall are even more out of sync because of that. And you can see here, they are not out of sync in the same way. So this door frame here is actually crossing at some point. So it's a little bit to the left on one position and a little bit to the right on another position. That's because of how perspective works. But this is not a huge problem for us. We will fix these little problems with a mask. So the way I would suggest you do this is that you create a mask. So select the layer that you want to adjust, and then down here you have your mask symbol. Click on that. You can see this is creating a mask. And now what we are doing is that we go here to layer and invert. And this will hide everything in that layer. Now the benefit is I will create a mask that only shows the things I need in that layer. And so that means all the other things that might not sync up perfectly, I can ignore by that because only very little parts of that are actually visible. So the way to make this visible, you can see here on the mask that to make it invisible is black and to make it visible is white. So we go over here to our brush and use that. And I will select white, and you can see when I go over my picture already I'm getting a little bit of a preview. I will make my brush a bit bigger and set the opacity to 100%. The hardness can be soft. Let's set it around 30, like so. And you can see now I can paint myself into the picture. Now that's already an easy start. Here are some things you should look out for. First of all, you can see that, of course, my body is casting a shadow. So you need to make sure that you not only draw the body over, but also the shadow into the second picture. Now you can see here in the background, this is not lining up correctly. So I will select one of these versions and paint them over into the second picture. Over here, you also have an element. And then the rest of the wall is similar, so I can leave it the same. You can see also that the light situation has changed a tiny bit. Now here's how to fix that. I have painted in everything I want to have in the image. Now I switch over to black again and reduce the opacity. Let's go down to, let's say, 10%. And also make my brush a little bit smaller. And now I will softly stroke over these areas so they create a blend with the background, a soft blend. That means that these a little bit darker areas are mixing with the a little bit brighter areas, and just like that, it just looks like there is a little bit of a light change in the background, but it doesn't stand out too much. Let's make my brush a little bit bigger again. I will use this also over here. And just like that, you can fix this. Now you can see as a beginner, it is much easier to have an easy to fix background. Imagine there would be a lot of leaves or there would be a pattern in the background from a wallpaper. That would make it a lot more complex to line up all these elements. Let's go here to our next photo and we basically do the same process. Let's fix this here a little bit while we are zoomed out. So this is also a good thing to do, is to zoom in and out to see the difference between the versions so that it looks good in all kinds of perspectives, right? Okay, after you've done this, you can create adjustment layers on top of that. Let's create a curve adjustment here to adjust the light, make everything a little bit brighter, pull this a little bit down, pull this a little bit up so we have a little bit more contrast. And then also I want to sharpen this a little bit. I have my unsharp mask here like so. For a little test, this is good enough as an exercise. So as a beginner, don't overdo it. Don't make it too complex. Be playful. See what you can do with the situations, because the good thing is that you want to get in the exercise, play around with that, and then go to the next test, to the next version, and learn more from that rather than being overwhelmed with a massively complex project. That's it for today. I hope you enjoyed that tutorial. I'm looking forward for your results, what you're creating with this trick. Please post it as a comment under my post in my Facebook group. See you soon, and also I hope you join my live stream on Friday. Bye!